Hey everybody, it's Brian from MedEdInsights.com here with your medical school tip of the day. So it's summertime and interview season is just around the corner, and with that comes one of the most stressful parts of residency applications for some people, getting your letters of recommendation. Now I know I was super stressed out, not about just asking for my letters, but how to make sure I got good letters of recommendation. So I'm here to give you some tips on how to ask for letters of recommendation for your residency application and how to make it as low stress of a situation as possible. So the first thing to remember when you're asking for a letter of recommendation from a faculty member is, first of all, they know that you might ask them. This is something that they've gone through year after year. They ask for letters themselves and they're used to students asking them for letters. So don't think that you're going to be the first person to ever ask them this question. They know how stressful it is and they know that you might ask them for a letter. Tip number 2 is don't send them an email, ask them in person. So by this stage in medical school, you know how to be professional, you know the importance of doing things face to face, and nothing is worse than when a faculty member gets an email asking if they can have a recommendation letter. They're probably going to tell you no. So just ask them in person when they have free time and have a moment to talk with you. And the third and final tip, make sure you specify when you ask for your letter that you would want to know if they can write you a strong letter of recommendation or a good letter of recommendation. One of the biggest things that can hurt your application is if your recommendation letters don't say positive things about you and if they're poorly written. So make sure when you ask for your letter of recommendation that you ask the consultant or the faculty member if they can write you a strong letter of recommendation. They'll know what this means and they'll know whether or not they've interacted with you enough to write you a letter that will positively help your application. This way, if they don't feel like they've worked with you long enough to say enough good positive things that will influence your application, they have the opportunity to say no. They're on your team and they don't want to hurt your application by writing a letter of recommendation that might come across as weak or negative. So it's that easy. Number 1, know that they've been through this before and they know that it's a stressful situation for you and that you might be asking them for a recommendation letter. Number 2, make sure you ask in person. And number 3, make sure that you specify whether or not they can write a strong letter of recommendation for you. Hopefully they say yes, but if they say no, don't get stressed about it. It might just mean that they aren't confident enough that they've worked with you for a good enough period of time that they can say positive things that they know will help your application. It doesn't mean they necessarily think you're a bad student or don't like you. It just means they know that their letter won't positively contribute to your application. In the long run, this will be better for you anyways. So don't get down about it. Find someone else that can write you a good recommendation letter and move on from there. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out mededinsights.com for more experiences on medical school and residency. We'll talk next time.